Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ten Stark. I'm here, you're clear, and today we're going to be doing another Phantasy Star Online 2 New Genesis video. Today, we're going to be talking about the Geometric Laboratory, or should I say, proper Endgame for PSO2 New Genesis. After doing the new mode a couple of times and getting my first S rank with it, I want to talk to you guys a little bit how I feel about it, what can be improved, what are the flaws with the mode, and what can be considered a good foundation for the mode itself. Let's start off with the positives and get it out of the way first. For first off, I think it's very good with the party scaling system where the enemy scale to the highest member of your team. I really like this system because it will allow the mode to be relevant for any and all future content moving forward, because as we are going to the new region and getting up to level 60, if we ever choose to come back to the Geometric Laboratory, we will always be facing enemies on the same level as us, and we never feel like we can just steamroll the entire playlist. This is very important for any endgame that's going to be installed into New Genesis, because we need more systems like this, as we need to challenge ourselves and see how far we have learned our classes, how good our gear is, how well we can understand mob and boss mechanics in some ways. And not only that, it's very good to test yourself, whether it's solo or with teams, and you want to see how fast or how fluid you can be with doing these challenges. Speaking of challenges, just like with the Divine Quest in the past, back in base PSO2, if you're not familiar with this concept, the Geometric Laboratory has a system as well where you can modify your runs, where you can choose to have enemies having higher health, higher attack. You can also add in more restrictions for yourself, where you have less healing, more cost of healing, less revives, but in exchange you'll have a higher score multiplier, which allows you to actually get more points and get a higher rank at a much faster and more challenging pace. I really enjoyed this system, and I feel like that for it to truly be better, the modifiers have to be included with this mode, because if players want to work for the A and S rank rewards, they have to try to challenge themselves, and the modifiers are a very good start to this system. Outside the boss room, the first 5 are never always the same from my experience. Each room is always randomized. Sometimes you always get a room or two that is the same, but most of the time it's not always the same pattern. So you always have to stay on your toes. And for some of the rooms, the bosses are not always the same. So it's a very good test to see how good you are at different situations or how you can approach different bosses. Now that we got the positive parts out of the way, now it's time to discuss some of the negative parts I have with this. And first off, it has something to do with how the scaling of said modifiers are. Due to how the endgame will work, the scalar effect where, for example, enemy HP and enemy attack power, it scales off with the lowest person actually in your boss team. So you yourself could be at max modifiers and challenges, but if someone in your team hasn't even started with it yet, it's gonna be a bit of a drag for you, because if you wanted to focus on S ranks, you gotta make sure all your team members are at the same level as you, as getting S rank requires you to have at least 700, I want to say 10 to 20, 720% at least to get S rank with good modifiers on. But that alone could be such an annoyance for pugs or people who want to get together. Other than that, the other complaint I have is with the randomized challenges, including a surprise Giga enemy type of challenge, where sometimes random enemies will turn into Giga tick enemies. And I wanted to point it out to some of you that may not understand. Because of how certain mechanics are, like the down and break system, normal enemies, even if they turn into Giga enemies, they're not always going to be down. Certain enemies will have the down system, but the normal smaller enemies won't have it. So you have to be very wary of how you do this and keep this in mind, because sometimes you might be facing a small little guy that just won't die, and you won't notice that he turned into a Giga enemy because of the modifier. Overall, I say that the Geometric Laboratory is a solid foundation with a few flaws here or there. But I will say I'm glad that they made this mode because it will evolve with the content and it's gonna stay relevant even when the new region comes because like I said, due to the new level scaling, now even if you come back at level 60, the enemies are going to be the same level as you, so you can't steamroll the mode and get easy prizes. And I have to say, it's a very nice touch. And if any of you who are still weary about the mode, give it a shot, even once or twice. I promise you, you'll feel better after trying it and learning the system itself. What are your thoughts and feelings about the Geometric Laboratory? Do you think that the mode itself is very flawed? Do you think it's a good start? Do you think it has a solid foundation overall? What do you think of the rewards? Comment down below and share around this video, and I want everyone to get their thoughts and feelings about the mode itself. For those of you that make it far into this video, thank you for watching. I hope you all have a very nice day. This is 10 Start, signing out.